Hi guys, welcome back to another podcast with TWT. Today's podcast is going to be about Trenton Brighton. So if you don't know who Trenton Brighton is, he is Cheyenne Satterfield, so Sierra's little sister, is his ex-girlfriend. So he was actually the one that they announced to be Bella's dad at the beginning, and then later on a heap of stuff happened, and then it came out that it was actually Joe who was Bella's daddy, which is Trenton's ex-best friend, I suppose, or I think they were best friends at the time. Trenton and Cheyenne, they had the most volatile relationship ever. It was insane. It was on, off, and it was just messy, like super messy, super public breakups, and then getting back together. It was a mess. But anyway, I'll probably save that for another podcast because it does probably need its own, because at the time, like, it went on for quite a while. But anyway, so last night, Joe's baby mama and seemingly ex-girlfriend now put this post up onto Facebook, and it says, "All right, let me clear something up right now. I didn't just take our son and leave. I left because I didn't want to deal with a drunk who mentally abused me all the time. He never helped with our son. If anything, all he did was yell at me and the baby. He refused to work for 2.5 years, but Lee's pregnant girlfriend at the time worked almost 40 hours a week till I was almost 7 months pregnant. Oh, and let's not forget the fact that he tried cheating on me 5 days before I gave birth. I have every right to leave that situation, and I don't give a damn what anyone has to say. I did what was best for my son, and I'll be damned if I was going to stay in an environment with drinking all the time and violence, plain and simple." Right. First, I just want to say, first of all, like, good on her for leaving. It was definitely the right thing to do. Like, regardless of what's going on, you just don't want to stay in a house with a drunk. So good on her for leaving. The only thing about this statement that does bother me is the fact that she says, he refused to work for 2.5 years, but Lee's pregnant girlfriend at the time worked almost 40 hours a week till I was almost 7 months pregnant. I don't agree that he should have let her work while he's not even trying to get a job. I don't agree with that. But I also don't agree with the fact that this is being brought up to throw into the breakup when it happened so long ago. Like, if you had a problem with that back then, it really should have been dealt with back then. Like, I don't know if this was like an ongoing argument with them. Like, he was never working, I was working, and that she was getting mad at me all the time. But, it just seems weird to, like, bring it up now to, like, belittle him with, when really it probably should have been addressed at the time, or something should have been done at the time. So that does bother me. I think Trenton has always been a very toxic person, and from what we know with his relationship with Shay, who, the both of them together were super toxic. They were on, off, like I said, their relationship was really public with the breakups. She would, like, post bruises that he did, and then he would post pictures of his face where she's, like, scratched his face. So it was kind of like they were both just as bad as each other, sort of thing. But, I don't know about this situation, but when we get further down the comments, and I think it's Trenton's brother makes a comment about how she was just as bad, and it kind of just makes me feel like there's always these two toxic people that are, like, drawn together. But either way, it's not a good situation for a baby to be in, so they're better off being apart. The next person says, "Baby, don't explain yourself, especially on Facebook. It ain't worth it. Do what you got to do." And she replies and says, "I literally wasn't going to post a damn thing, but he's on Facebook acting like I just left and took his son, so I figured people should know I'm not the bad person in this situation. It was an unhealthy environment. I left for the safety of my son and myself. I don't know how many times he's gotten drunk and went on to a rampage because I wouldn't spend money to buy him more. He told me he was going to kill me multiple times. I was genuinely concerned he was just going to snap one day." Okay, fair enough. Like, obviously, fair enough. You don't want to be in that situation. I get that. So then, Trenton's brother, I think it's his brother. I don't know if they're blood brothers or if it's like, besties or whatever. But, like, it's a little bit cut off, so I'll just read what I've got. It says, "Personally, I think you brought your son to a worse place. Meth heads, crackheads, everything you can think of. I think alk, meaning alcohol, is better than them. Haha. Also, when you use Trenton like a puppet on a string, telling him you were going to come back, and then you go MIA is fucked up. Oh, and another thing is, definitely wouldn't surprise me if you cheated on him either. Wasn't it methamphetamines that they found in your system when you were pregnant with the baby? I don't think you're a sweet little angel because you sure as hell ain't. You treated Trenton like that which made him treat you like that. You yelled at him over everything. You're a fucked up person and trapped him in his own damn mind. So, wow. For starters, there's a couple of claims there. So he's saying, she's telling him that she's going to go back to him, but none of this is being addressed on Facebook, okay? So you can tell this is a toxic relationship. Break up, get back together sort of shit. Same as what went on with Trenton and Cheyenne. I'm so glad Cheyenne is out of that situation and Bella is on that situation. But anyway, he said she wasn't surprised if he cheated on him either. And wasn't it methamphetamines they found in your system when you were pregnant with the baby? Holy crap. So for starters, I don't even know. If they find that in your system when you're pregnant with the baby, I think that should be like an automatic have your baby taken off you, because that's fucked up. Everyone knows, there's debates about smoking weed when you're pregnant, and there's debates about people that smoke cigarettes while pregnant, but there's no fucking debate on this. There's no debate. That's bad for you. If you're putting it in your body, you're just a selfish bitch, okay? So that's gross. But what I found was, people, they don't make, wild claims because they're trying to, one-up each other, you're a bigger shitbag, you're a bigger shitbag, This is what happens. This custody battle is going to be fucked. Then she says, that's funny because I literally have messages of you telling me to find someone to treat me better. And I didn't cheat on him. I was too busy busting my ass at work to support your deadbeat brother. He was treated that way because he never appreciated anything, and I trapped him in his own mind is so far from my fault. Dude has had problems before me and will after me. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if you didn't turn out just like him, a deadbeat drunk, because all you did was drink almost every night, not to mention the fact that you'd always steal my cigarettes and vapes like your dad couldn't afford to buy your own shit. Get the fuck off with your misguided ass. So at this point, it's just turning into a war, because, this doesn't even have anything to do with their breakup, really, does it? They're just trying to throw things out there to belittle each other, and this is toxic. And it gets worse. It's toxic as. But, he's sitting there saying, oh, you had methamphetamines in your system. Why are you addressing that now, though? Why weren't you addressing that when she was found with that in her system? Why was it okay back then, but now it's a problem because you guys aren't getting along? That's what I cannot stand. She's doing the same thing. She's you'd always steal my cigarettes and vapes you couldn't afford it. Don't give them to him, or hide your cigarettes and vapes. Why is that a problem now? If you didn't say anything back then, why is it suddenly a problem? We're obviously friends if you're texting each other and stuff, so I don't understand. Sorry, I just had a phone call come through, so I got cut off there. But this is the next part. Now, this is probably the worst, and I think it's so disgusting for any person to ever write something like this about their ex. It's just gross. Intimate details of relationship should not be shared. But this is what she wrote. Also, another thing is, I'm far from a drug addict. If I was, I would have been out looking for a fix every day. I know what I do, guys. You guys support a narcissist who acts like he's 5. I take care of my own. Y'all know the truth about him, but keep defending someone who's literally a shitty person. And here it is. And honestly, I should have cheated on his dumb ass. Couldn't even last no longer than 2 minutes. Girl, you had my full support until you said that. You are trash for saying that. I'm sorry, but I think that is just trashy. I don't think anyone should say that. It just literally, no. It just makes you look like the world's biggest bitch saying things like that. I'm sure you could have won that argument with him being abusive and all the rest without adding that in there, because that just shows that you are very, very narcissistic and abusive yourself. But my biggest thing with this, I'm concerned, like I said before, all of a sudden now she's got a problem with the cigarettes and the vapes, and now he's got a problem that she was doing methamphetamines when pregnant. But she doesn't even address this. She goes through that, and the first thing she wants to address is the fact that, I yelled at him because he was doing this and he was doing that. And then she waits till the next message to address the fact that he just said she tested for methamphetamines when she was pregnant. And she doesn't even deny it. She does say on the next one, I'm far from a drug addict. But that's not saying that I did not do drugs when I was pregnant with my child, because she's trying to twist this story to make it sound better on her behalf, and nothing sounds better. If you're doing methamphetamines when you are pregnant, you are a piece of shit. You are a piece of shit. I'm sorry, but you are. And that comment there saying that, couldn't last more than 2 minutes. That is so just disgusting. Like, no. Sorry, girl. Gross. Next comment is, you did good by leaving that situation. Unfortunately, so many women stay in situations like that because of whatever messed reason they come up with in their heads, and it's sad. So you did the right thing for you and your kids, so be proud of that, and now you can focus on doing what is best for you to make sure that you have a successful life, and your kid does too. Totally agree with that statement. She did the right thing by leaving. Definitely leave. Don't engage in this Facebook bullshit back and forth. Like, if she goes back to him now, she's going to look very foolish. I know how domestic abuse relationships work. Like, I understand it. But at the same time, you're sitting here saying, well, I want to keep my son safe. If you wanted to keep your son safe, you wouldn't be doing fucking methamphetamines. Okay? Anyway, she says, yes, I can't remember how many times I showed up to work at Burger King with bruises and stuff. It was time to leave. She got a response saying, for sure, you have no idea how many of us wanted to go beat his ass for you after seeing you come in a few times with those bruises. Definitely was the right move to get out of there. And she replies with, it really was. My son's safety as well as mine is more important than staying just because he's a dad. It's his dad. Right. But methamphetamines aren't more important than your son's safety. Okay, whatever. So some of this comment's actually cut off, but I'll just read out what I have. It says, you're way better off without him, and I pray you never take his damned ass back. I'm so proud of you and all of your accomplishments. Also, whomever it was that wants to put you down because of that loser, fuck them. Evidently, they're not worth your time or breath. And tell them if they have any issues with them, then tell them to come talk to me. Ooh, tough guy. And then she says, haha, his whole family, they sent the cops to a cop's house for a well check on the baby, like I'm not taking care of him. And believe me, I've never been with that deadbeat ever again. Apparently he abused his ex when she was pregnant too. And if I recall correctly, his ex was actually, she lost that baby, I believe. So that's some pretty huge allegations there towards Trenton. So I don't know. But they responded with saying, oh my fucking God, are you serious? All the more reason I never cared for the punk. That's okay, baby girl. He will have his day one day, and God help him when he does. You got this. You keep taking excellent care of our little angel. Him and his family ain't got shit on you. And then Winter goes, oh, and his mother saying I wasn't concerned about the well-being of my baby considering what was in my system. Laugh my ass off. She's the one who would smoke weed with me pregnant, so apparently she didn't give a shit about his well-being either. Someone responded, girl, tell that shit grandma and her dusty-ass son to kiss your ass. You're a damn great mother, and just stay strong and keep their asses blocked. Oh, fuck. I am so glad my life is not like this. And then she writes back, I know I'm a great mum. I did everything for him, myself, since he was born, and I don't ever stop for the rest of my life. For the rest of his life. Sorry. I feel like I'm a little bit brain damaged after reading all of that. That's, wow. So, okay, there is so much controversial about, like, smoking and then weed. Like, people, I don't think any of it's okay. I would not do any of that while I'm pregnant. I cannot justify any of that. So, if you can justify it, that's up to you. But methamphetamine, no. You cannot justify that. I don't give a fuck who you think you are. If you're taking that shit, your child should be removed so fast from your care. And, she's literally admitting it. She's like, considering what was found in my system. What is going on over there, guys? Like, how are people allowed to take these drugs and keep their children? It blows my mind. But what bothers me in this whole situation is you've got Winter here that's dragging Trenton for being an alcoholic. And she's also dragging Trenton's mum for smoking weed with her while she was pregnant, okay? For starters, neither of them have another life inside of them dependent on them. You did, okay? And if we're comparing weed with methamphetamines, we know what is worse here. So that whole statement is absolutely ridiculous. How can you drag two people for using alcohol and using weed when you're using methamphetamines when you're pregnant? Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, how are you even justifying this? That's a joke. Now, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more to unfold over the next couple of days. So what I will do is I'll post those screenshots on the TWT 3.0 page for you guys to have a look and read and sort of, pull from it what you will. Sorry, I did get a little bit heated in this video. It's really hard not to, because on the other videos, you're just uploading the screenshots and you're just giving out facts. Whereas, when you're giving your opinion, it's a little bit different, because you do get a bit heated when it comes to like drug use, when people are pregnant and things like that. Like, I see it and I just think for that child, it's just so sad to see it happening. And, you've got this mother here that's like, I'm a great mother, but you're taking drugs. It's just hard to fathom what goes through their mind when they do things like this. And they just don't have, with this whole thing, she just took no accountability for her own actions. It's all Trenton's fault. And also let me know what you guys think about that little dig of he only lasts 2 minutes. Like, do you think that was funny, or do you think that's like a weak thing to do? Let me know what you think. Anyway, I'll catch you guys on the page at TWT 3.0.